Hello and welcome to our web seminar on the top 5 web marketing lead generation strategies presented by StartUpSelling. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to explain the technology we'll be using today. All of your lines have been muted for the duration of the webinar. You can enter inquiries into the question box, which we'll address at the end of the web seminar. And if you click the black X in the corner, you will exit the web seminar. Now a few words about our speaker. John Scranton is a licensed insurance agent who's worked for a top 100 agency in New York. He's the co-author of Sell More and Work Less. He's an insurance agency marketing professional, and he is an expert in blogging and social media marketing. I'd like to welcome John Scranton.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew, for that glowing introduction. Today's web seminar is going to be concise and fun. We're going to go through 5 tips to help you improve your web marketing lead generation for 2013, because it's all about lead gen. What leads, what quality leads can you bring into the agency sales pipeline? So without further ado, no agenda today. We're diving right in. Tip number 1, develop targeted content. Target your content. On the internet, content is king. We've all heard that before, and it can be said that your relationships with your prospects and clients could be more valuable than your content, but from a marketing and lead gen standpoint, content is most important. And when we talk about content, to break it down for you, the things we're talking about are blog entries, articles that you might write and post to your website or to article directories. We're talking about white papers, examples of how you've helped clients just like those you wish to sell to in the future. Also video. Video can be developed in a number of ways these days. Recorded Skype interviews, professionally produced videos, talking heads, vlogs. There's a lot of different options. Also collateral materials like the couple snapshots I have here. Slick PDFs that you can send to clients and prospects when you're talking to them, working with them, to show that you have expertise unique to them. Content is so important because it fuels your SEO and social media efforts. Your content will drive the quality of your search engine results and the interaction and attention you get from social media. So how do you target the content for your specific prospects? How do you hit that bullseye? What you need to do is write for your prospects. Don't write about you, write for them. Help them with their challenges. Offer value and solutions. What do they need? Are they facing a PPACA challenge with the new Obamacare regulations? Are they facing changes in workers' compensation rates that they need to be aware of? Write about the topics that will help them. Meanwhile, convey your expertise. If you're helping them with these challenges, offering solutions, offering ideas, they'll see that you understand the challenges they face and be much more inclined to talk to you. Meanwhile, optimize that content for SEO. Titles, tags, categories, whatever you can do to make your content more search friendly. And make sure to integrate your keywords into the content. So a couple quick examples of what we mean by targeted content. Like I mentioned before, PPACA is big. What is going to happen to my business now that these Obamacare regulations are starting to approach? So here's an example, PPACA challenges for the restaurant industry. Or the title we're using today, Insurance Agency Lead Generation Strategies. That second one is actually good for 2 reasons. One, it tells you, the attendee or the viewer of this webinar, that we're going to help you with agency lead generation. So you know it's about you. It's to help you. It's not, hey, this guy's going to try to sell his marketing services. It's about the person which I wish to sell to. And it has a very big, important keyword for us, insurance agency lead generation. That's one of our trophy keywords for SEO. So writing for the prospect and including a search keyword. Great title right there. So what's next? We have some great content. What do we do with it? Leverage that content through social media. Put it in relevant places where your prospects are going to see it. Share it as a LinkedIn profile update. Post it to your LinkedIn company page. Share it in LinkedIn groups, not just any group, and not groups like the PIA group or your local chamber of commerce. Share it in groups that consist of your prospects. If you're helping people deal with OSHA challenges that contractors face, find a group of contractors in your area or in the area you want to sell to and share your content there. Answer questions, participate in a dialogue. Don't just post it wherever it's easy and move on, or you're wasting your time. Post your content to Twitter as well. And when you tweet it, include hashtags. I put a couple examples: insurance, benefits, Pavaca. You want to post to Twitter because even if nobody follows you, Google crawls Twitter quickly. And part of the idea with your targeted content is to improve your SEO. Everybody always asks about Facebook. Facebook we find to be much more valuable for personal lines type agencies as opposed to the commercial lines or group benefits agencies that we typically deal with. But it is important to have a Facebook page, because if you don't make one, eventually Facebook will create a community page for you, and it may or may not be a professional representation of your agency. Create a social media process to make sure that you get these things done. You develop this beautiful content, so maybe we post it as a blog. Then we share it to LinkedIn and Twitter. We share it to LinkedIn groups if it's appropriate, and then follow through and respond to the inquiries and opportunities created. Make sure that you write back to the people who comment in your blog entry. Make sure that you respond to the comments posted on your discussion in a LinkedIn group. If you're going to make the effort to develop this content and share it, don't drop the ball when you have an opportunity at the end of the process. We say formalize this process because people often are busy with their day-to-day activities. They're busy servicing clients. They're busy working on quotes. They may miss something important. So develop a routine that you're comfortable with. Even put it in writing to make sure that you get the full value out of content that you develop. Next thing, tip number 3, optimize your website. Everybody knows you need to optimize your website for SEO, but are you optimizing your calls to action? Have you even thought about your calls to action? When you optimize both, this drives lead generation activity. And that's an important thing that we'll touch upon today. So SEO. We've run many webinars talking about SEO. Most of you have probably attended them in the past and have a great idea of what needs to be done for insurance agency SEO. So we'll only spend a couple minutes talking about what you need to do. First, most importantly, keyword analysis. Determine what keywords your prospects are searching for, how competitive they are, how valuable they'll be to you if you can win them, and then begin optimizing your site. Start on site, on page, titles, headers, meta. Optimize your content. Integrate your blog and post keyword-rich blogs. And then, of course, fuel that with off-page SEO. We won't get into all the nuances of that. It's part of our intellectual property. But off-page SEO is arguably more important than on-page because it drives people via important links to your website. Second, optimize your calls to action. This is something that we rarely talk about in our webinars. We want to touch upon it today. We're developing content. We're spreading that content out across the web via social media. We're also driving people to our site through SEO. We have these visitors on our website. Now, what do we want them to do? How are we going to get them to engage with us? You need to think about what your calls to action say, what they offer, where they're placed on your website. Here's a few examples that I copied and pasted from our website on various pages for various reasons that say various things. Join us for a webinar. Or, more aggressive, contact us today. We offer complimentary or free web marketing reviews to any of our clients and prospects at any time. We have that as one of our calls to action. And there's another join us for a webinar, different shape, different color because it's on a different page in a different spot. A/B test your calls to action. Put 2 on the same page and see which one drives more interaction. Switch them. Switch pages, switch areas, switch what they say, and then measure the analytics. Where are people going? Where are they clicking through? And how are they responding to you when they do? Do certain calls to action only attract tire kickers as opposed to other calls to action that attract buyers? Measure those through your website analytics and learn what calls to action are most effective for your agency. Tip number 4, prospect identification. I just ran through the litany of all the different ways that you're going to be driving people to your website, how we're going to get them to interact with you. Let's also find out who is on your site. Not everybody that arrives there is going to go click on one of your calls to action or fill out a form or register for a webinar or comment on a blog. So let's make sure that we know they're there, and let's make sure we can determine who is there, how long, where they went. StartUpSelling's Prospect ID or other website visitor tracking technologies can help you with that. This is a relatively new concept, so we'll talk a little bit about what it means. A little bit of code, a little piece of code is installed on your website, just kind of like what you do for Google Analytics. Visitor data is then tracked completely behind the scenes and reported to a dashboard, which you can access at any time. Shows who's been on your site, how long, what pages they visited. Meanwhile, you're instantly sent an email, so it hits your inbox instantly to let you know that somebody's on your website, and lets you know where they're from, where they're located, and what they looked at. So let's look at a couple samples. I grabbed 2 recent samples from our website. As you all know, we work with insurance agencies, so most of our website visitors are insurance agencies or the occasional insurance company. Here's one from Marsh, New York, so it was in their main office. They saw an article, a blog that I posted on LinkedIn, clicked through, and read my blog article on December 6th at 10:08 and 10 seconds a.m. So very detailed information. If I had been working with someone, per se, at Marsh on their prospect account, I would now know, oh great, we've connected on LinkedIn, they clicked through to my blog. I should reach out to them and see if it was of interest to them, see what I can do to help them. Here's another, Nice Lukens, a big agency in Louisville that many of you may be familiar with. They were searching on Google for video website marketing insurance agency. That keyword doesn't exactly make grammatical sense, but they needed video help. So we reached out to them. We're talking to them about video. They were driven to our site via SEO. We knew, so we called them and opened a dialogue. Very important, very effective. It helps accelerate the sales funnel for your agency. Tip number 5, email marketing. We also talked about email marketing in our general lead generation webinar a few weeks ago in December, but email marketing is really an element of web marketing. It lives online and it fuels all these different things that we've been talking about today. Good email marketing is going to help you improve your social media. It's going to help improve your SEO because you're going to be driving people to content that you develop, content that's likely living on the internet somewhere. And when done right, it's a very, very important lead gen tool. So what should your emails look like? They should be professional and educational. The examples we talked about before, such as insurance agency lead generation strategies or packet changes for the restaurant industry, would be great email marketing subject lines. It's very effective for B2B. We don't do B2C emails. We only do B2B. That's where we operate, and that's what we focus on and where we found it to be the most effective. You're always educating. You're never selling. Save 15% on car insurance is not a good email marketing subject line. That's going to get caught in spam filters. That's going to get complaints, and that's going to cause problems. You always want to educate. Learn about how you can reduce premiums and improve safety programs for your business. Much better. Email marketing content can be webinars, white papers, case studies, newsletters. All those digital content avenues that we talked about earlier are great fuel for an effective e-marketing campaign. You can also feature a value-driven call to action. Read our newsletter about manufacturing safety and OSHA standards. Read our informational white paper about Affordable Care Act changes affecting your industry. If a call to action is value and educationally driven, you'll receive clicks, you'll receive multiple opens, and your email marketing campaigns will create opportunities. Limit your graphics, limit your frequency. Too often, you'll annoy people and they'll get rid of you. Too many graphics, your email is going to look like this. These are emails actually from one's from Constant Contact and others from Amazon. These all arrived in my inbox and look like this. To me, that's not e-marketing. That's a disaster. That's not going to help you sell anything. That's not going to help you build relationships. So limit the amount of graphics that you use in your emails and make sure that the content is highly educational and delivered in a professional format. So let's review our 5 tips today. Number 1, target your content right for your prospects. Make sure that you're helping them with their challenges. Tip number 2, leverage that content through social media. Proliferate your content throughout the web using LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. Tip number 3, optimize both for SEO and your calls to action. Tip number 4, email marketing. That was tip number 5. So we'll skip over it for now for a minute. Tip number 5, email marketing. Email is a critical piece to your web marketing puzzle. It fuels your SEO, fuels your social media, and drives lead gen. Backing up to the one I skipped, my apologies. Tip number 4, prospect ID. Use a tool like Prospect ID from StartUpSelling to identify who's on your website to accelerate your path to communicating with an interested prospect. With that, we're going to move into our Q&A. We will be launching a poll during the Q&A today. If anybody would like a complimentary lead gen review, as mentioned before, we provide complimentary lead gen reviews to any of our clients and prospects who attend our webinars. If you'd like a case study, let us know. And we have many lead gen blogs that we're happy to share with you as well. So with that, Mr. Moderator, if you will, I'll launch the poll and you can start asking the questions.
Great. Thanks, John, for that illuminating presentation. We have a few questions that have come in so far. The first of which is, how do you recommend we reach out to visitors identified by products like Prospect ID?
The best way, in my opinion, is to share with them the actual Prospect ID lead. Say, hey, Mr. Agency or Mr. Prospect, I see that you are on our website. I see that you visited our video page, for example. Here's a copy of that lead. I'm going to call you in a few minutes to talk with you about this topic. I found that to be a very successful path. It's very forward. It's very direct. However, you know that these people have been on your website. If it's somebody that you want to follow up with, odds are that it's somebody who is part of your prospect pool or part of your prospect database already. So follow up with them directly. Be direct. Cut to the chase. You know they're on your website. You know they must be interested. And you can often turn a visitor into a great opportunity.
Excellent. Thanks, John. Next question we have, how do we determine what our call to action should be?
Great question. There's many different ways you can find a call to action. You can research online. You can experiment. But I think the best answer to that question is think about what your prospects need. What do your prospects want? They're coming to your site to do what? Maybe it's to get a quote. Maybe it's to find a resource. Maybe it's to find someone to talk to. And then create a call to action that speaks to that specific problem. So if you are a personal lines agency who sells a lot of home and auto, make your call to action, quick quote for homeowners insurance or something along those lines that directly speaks to their needs.
Very good. Question number 3, how often do I need to post new content?
We recommend posting some type of piece of content, whether it's a blog or a white paper or a case study, at least once a week. If you can do twice a week or more, that's great. Once a week minimum for freshness, for interaction with your prospects, and to make sure that you're consistently pushing out that value-driven content that we talked about earlier that will create your opportunities for interaction.
Great, thanks. And our last question for the day is, how can I get a copy of the slides?
My contact information is now on the screen. You can call me or email me. Let me know that you'd like a copy. I'd be happy to send you a PDF of the slides from today. We will also be posting a webinar synopsis to our blog if you'd like to check back later today. And with that, we've hit our 20-minute time limit, so we're going to wrap things up. Mr. Moderator, thanks for your assistance. We thank you all for attending today. With that, we wish you a great day. This web seminar is now ending.